Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News. Now, folks, it is January 17th, 2026, and the world is looking about as steady as a folding lawn chair at my cousin Randy's third wedding. Which, by the way, ended exactly like you think it did. Paramedics, a goat, and a barbecue sauce incident we ain't allowed to talk about legally. So buckle up, grab a Mountain Dew that expired sometime during the Obama years, and let's ride straight into this mess. Segment 1. Greenland Ultimatum and NATO Meltdown. Now y'all, our president has finally done it. He woke up one morning, stared at a risk board, and decided the United States is going to buy Greenland. Just buy it. Like it's a used ATV off Facebook Marketplace. Except when Denmark said Greenland ain't for sale, he slapped tariffs on 8 whole countries like he was swatting flies at a cookout. 10% tariffs now, 25% in June, unless Europe forks over an iceberg full of land and minerals. That's right. Economic warfare because we want the world's largest ice cube. And he didn't stop there. Oh no. He's hollering about China and Russia sneaking around Greenland like raccoons behind a Cracker Barrel. Meanwhile, Denmark rolls out their Arctic commander who basically says, "Ain't nobody here except us, some seals, and the occasional confused tourist who thought they booked Iceland." Europe, understandably, is not impressed. They sent troops to Greenland for what they're calling a training exercise, which is what I also call it when I show up to a neighbor's cookout to eyeball their smoker setup and judge their ribs. But the president saw troops landing and said, "What are they doing there?" "Buddy, they left the dog sleds at home. They're not invading you." Then we got Copenhagen protests with hats that say, "Make America go away," which honestly feels like a message I've gotten from 3 ex-girlfriends and at least 1 possum. Congress even sent a delegation over to Denmark like, "Hey, sorry about our dad. He's just like this. Please don't break up with us." They're trying to save NATO while also trying not to get yelled at on Truth Social. All I'm saying is, if World War III starts because we wanted a frozen rock with more ice than my cousin Ricky's cooler before he discovered sippin' bourbon, I'm gonna need a long sit-down with Jesus, or possibly a nap. Segment 2. Middle East Rebuild and Iran's Catastrophe. Now this next part, whew. The Middle East looks like somebody shook a hornet nest and then asked the hornets to fill out some paperwork. The president announced something called the Board of Peace, which sounds nice until you read it and realize it's basically the world's fanciest HOA. It's chaired by Trump himself, so obviously peace is on the horizon. And then he adds Jared Kushner, Tony Blair, Marco Rubio, a real estate guy, a World Bank guy, and a private equity billionaire. This ain't a governance council. This is the cast of Shark Tank, but for nation building. They got a Phase 2 plan, which translates to Palestinians get to run the day-to-day stuff, but the board gets to run the stuff that actually matters. Folks in the region are calling it colonialism with a PowerPoint slide. Meanwhile, Iran is in chaos, like capital C chaos. 12,000 people killed in just 2 nights of protests. Snipers, chemical agents, security forces in hazmat suits. It's like a dystopian movie marathon, except none of us bought popcorn and everyone's nervous. The president is out there calling for regime change, telling the Ayatollah it's time to pack up his office. Japan is evacuating diplomats, warning citizens not to travel to Qatar or the UAE because U.S. bases might be targets. There's even a message from an IRGC-linked channel saying they found U.S. military folks staying at a Sheraton in Doha. A Sheraton. Not even a fancy one. What kind of global spy thriller uses a Sheraton? The whole region is on edge. and America's trying to run Gaza like it's a golf course renovation project. I'm just saying, when your Middle East peace plan features more billionaires than diplomats, you might want to reconsider your lineup. Segment 3. Energy bills, AI overload, and economic jitters. Now domestically, things are looking rougher than my uncle's truck after he tried to jump a ditch in the name of science. Americans were promised their energy bills would drop by 50%. Instead, they went up. National average up 6.7%. Heating up 9%. My home state Indiana up 17%. And DC jumping so high, it probably got altitude sickness. Why? Because the AI boom is eating electricity like a teenage boy eats pizza. These data centers need so much power, they're basically industrial-strength air fryers. Meanwhile, we shut down offshore wind, export natural gas, and pretend everything will sort itself out. The president's new idea is tech companies should pay everybody's electric bills. Personally, I'd love for NVIDIA to cover my propane costs. Maybe throw in a space heater shaped like a graphics card. And while all that's going on, the markets are twitching like a squirrel on espresso. The S&P dipped, the Dow dipped, the Nasdaq slid, and Treasury yields shot up because everyone's terrified the Fed chair is about to be replaced with whoever drew the shortest straw at a Mar-a-Lago luncheon. Wall Street analysts are out here whispering, is Powell fired? Is Warsh next? Is Hassett banned? Is money real? Meanwhile, my solution is simple. Turn everything off and then on again. Works for my internet every time. Segment 4. AI lawsuits and tiny earthquake lasers. Now let's talk tech, because apparently AI has discovered new ways to ruin someone's day. Ashley St. Clair is suing xAI because Grok generated deep fakes of her, including altered images from when she was a kid. That is beyond messed up. Even my redneck brain knows you don't do that. Not even by accident, especially not when people tell you to stop. Her verification got removed, she got demonetized, and when xAI was asked for comment, they replied, "Legacy media lies." That is a customer service strategy I do not recommend for small businesses. Sir, your tire rotation crushed my cat. Legacy media lies. Doesn't fly. This suit could be the first big one to hold an AI creator legally responsible. Section 230 might get dunked on like a basketball hoop at a family reunion. Meanwhile, scientists at the University of Colorado invented a phonon laser, which basically means they can make microscopic earthquakes on a chip. A laser that wiggles things. A wiggle beam. A tremor ray. I don't know how it works, but I'm excited and terrified, which is also how I feel driving behind a tractor on the highway. Segment 5. Minnesota trouble, culture brawls, and NFL showdowns. Minnesota is not having a good week. ICE raids all over the place, protests erupting, people getting blinded by less lethal rounds, which is a phrase that sounds like a lie. And now the Attorney General is suing the federal government, calling it an invasion. The DOJ is poking at Minneapolis officials like it's a high school food fight, but with subpoenas. Then, in entertainment, Rachel Ward posted a video, and the internet instantly acted like aging is a scandal. She clapped back saying she has no regrets. Good for her. If I looked that good at my age, I'd post every day and add sparkly filters. Meanwhile, Timothy Busfield is facing charges serious enough to make Hollywood's PR folks pack emergency sandwiches. His wife, Melissa Gilbert, is listed as a witness. This is not the kind of crossover episode anybody wanted. But the NFL? Oh, the NFL is giving us something. Bills at Broncos, Niners at Seahawks. It's enough testosterone and sports drama to make every dad in America forget to check the meat on the grill until it bursts into flames. Segment 6. Polar Vortex Mayhem and Weather Gone Stupid. And finally we got Weather Armageddon. A polar vortex is splittin' like my jeans did at that wedding I mentioned earlier. Arctic air is heading straight for us like it's mad we said penguins were cuter than polar bears. If this cold snap hits the already strained energy grid, we might see blackouts. And not polite blackouts either. Angry ones. The kind where you're sitting there in the dark, wondering why you ever threw away that 2007 flip phone with the unkillable battery. Northeast storm coming, Georgia getting snow it never asked for, Alabama bracing for black ice like the entire highway's been buttered. It's a weird weather weekend, y'all. Bundle up, check on your grandma, and don't go driving unless your car likes unscheduled skating routines. In conclusion, the world is wobbling, the economy is twitching, the Middle East is shaking, Europe is yelling, the energy grid is sweating. AI is hallucinating bikinis, Minnesota is suing the feds, and the NFL is out here distracting us with football sorcery. But don't worry, folks. We here at Poorly Educated will keep explaining global chaos the only way we know how, with confidence, very little expertise, and jokes that would get us kicked out of most respectable newsrooms. Stay warm, stay weird, and stay poorly educated.